We are delighted to welcome you back for day 2 of our technical seminar on next generation combat, shaping tomorrow's military today. Yesterday's session laid a strong foundation from conflict-based learning and gray zone structures to AI integration and reimagined technical seminar. Today, we carry that momentum forward into the realms of autonomy, robotics, and civil military fusion. We begin the proceedings with a speaker representing one of the foremost pillars of India's defense research and development ecosystem. May I request the distinguished scientist, Dr. Anupam Sharma, DRDO, to share his insight on India's trajectory in defense innovation and how DRDO is playing a pivotal role as a force multiplier in capability building of the armed forces.
Dr. Anupam Sharma did his post-graduation from JK Institute of Applied Physics and Technology and PhD from JLA University. He joined DRDO in 1990 and for the past 35 years, he has been extensively working in the fields of electronics warfare and space operations. He is presently the director at DSP Hyderabad. As project director, he has to his credit successful realization of very high altitude intelligence gathering payload. He has won several awards for his contributions to projects on electronics warfare.
So we request you.
Good morning. When I was invited for this seminar, the title was very interesting, Next Generation. And the next generation comes from the experiences which we got from past, what we are doing in present, what is going to be in future. So I stitched them together with my experience of 35 years. I have been working with the Army, Air Force, Navy in the fields. And let me tell you, my gurus were your JCOs, your airmen. I used to sit down. I used to understand their problems. Now, when the topic is given, the DRDO as a force multiplier for the armed forces, this causes a lot of issues because in future there was a different concept of force multiplier, but when you talk about next generation, there's going to be different force multiplier. Just go back 20 years back, nobody thought that AI and drones are going to be the force multiplier. So what I thought, I have stitched the past, present, future and next generation together to talk about the force multipliers. So everything is known to you, from land warfare, air warfare, naval warfare, and presently I am working for space warfare, cyber warfare, electronic warfare, nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. The most important thing, we should also, as said by Sun Tzu, that we should know if you want to win a war, you should know your capability and the capability of the adversary. That is where the asymmetric warfare also comes into picture. I have limited my role here that to talk about DRDO, FM systems, past, present, future, next generation. Everything cannot be covered. So I'll be covering most of the things what a developed country has to do as far as land, space, cyber warfare is concerned. So all we know that when we go to the definition of a force multiplier, these are the systems, tools, and the capabilities that dramatically enhance the combat effectiveness, strategic impact without requiring a proportional increase in manpower and the resources. There are a few examples I have given, like cyber and electronic warfare. It degrades adversary capability without physical confrontation. Today, we are talking about space warfare, which has significantly improved the global strike and reconnaissance capability of the services. NCW, I need not to go through, because when we talk about cooperation, but more than cooperation, it talks about the collaboration, about the services, unmanned military systems like UAV that extend the operational reach with reduced manpower. So, as you know, the DRDO was established in 1958 with a mandate to develop robust, scalable, niche, and indigenous technologies and systems that enhances the operational effectiveness, lethality, and strategic capability of the three services. Let me start with the land warfare. As we know that force multiplier for land warfare has got to should have the capability to see better, move faster, shoot faster, and coordinate more efficiently. In the pre-2000 era, the gunpowder, tanks, radio communication, helicopters, man pets, and the night vision devices were considered to be the force multipliers. Today, when we talk about 2000 to 2025, the more emphasis is given on the force multiplier effect, where we can get a situational awareness, precision, and the defense. So the electronic warfare, something which has to play a role for drone jammings, the communications, the ISR drones, the loitering munitions, active protection systems, C4 ISR integration, and also the urban command and surveillance robots are the present force multipliers. The future force multipliers will be based on the speed, autonomy, and coordinations. It's going to be the AI-driven battlement system, high-energy lasers, swarm drones, man-unmanned teaming, cyber EW ground platforms will play a very key role. But when we talk about the next generation, that is 2040 plus, we are going to talk about autonomous land combat systems, nano body armors, quantum battlefield communication, swarm robotics for land combat, bio enhancement, and neural interface for the soldiers. So the future land warfare will be based on the automation, reducing the human casualties, precision, survivability, and also about the information dominance. When it comes to the air warfare, the focus is going to be on the sensor, stealth, networking, precision, and endurance and survivability. Based on this, the force multipliers are going to be there. As we know, in the past, the radars have changed the way these services used to track the assets in the air or on ground. Stealth technology was a force multiplier in past 202, before 2000. Area refueling has greatly extended range and mission duration, jet propulsion, electronic warfare pods, air-to-air missiles. When we talk about the present, the 5th generation stealth fighters, UAV drones, precision guiding munitions, electronic attack aircraft, lock-on after or before launch missiles, hypersonic missiles with more than 5 Mach are going to be are the present force multipliers. Future 2025 to 2040, we can say that the sixth generation fighter warfares, along with quantum radars, which can detect the stealth technology, man-unmanned teaming, hypersonic weapons, AI for mission planning and dogfighting, DEWs, which are prominent in all the domains, supersonic and stealth UAVs, adaptive cycle engines with variable thrust modes for fuel efficiency and supersonic performance are going to be the future multipliers. Next generation will focus on the sixth generation fighters, quantum sensors, and dawn swarms. So the force multipliers in air warfare will be shifting from platform superiority to the network superiority, and it will lead to having fastest OODA loops, distributed lethality, cognitive EW, cognitive warfare integration, and autonomous decision making in real time congested airspace. When we talk about the naval warfare, the focus is going to be more on combat effectiveness, situation awareness, survivability, and power projection. The past was about the carrier, nuclear submarine, sonars, missiles. And the present is going to be focused on stealth ships, BMDs, net-centric operations. The future force multipliers for Navy are going to be AI-driven SWAMS fleets, underwater carriers, quantum sonars, biohybrid submarines, clocking technology, so that the ships can mimic something like civil vehicles and it will not be detected as a armored ships. Next generation will be dominated by quantum sensing, autonomous fleet, space maritime integration. So the future is going to be based on the automation, hypersonic, stealth and deception, and ocean dominance. When we talk about the space warfare, which I have been working last 12 years, the focus is going to be the situational awareness, target accuracy, survivability, and strategic domains. The past was about the reconnaissance and the IR sensors. The present is about the ASAT, ISR, and EW satellites where India is working. The future is going to be dominated by quantum communications, AI swarms, and EW. The next generation will talk about on-orbit servicing and assembly, nanosatellite assemblers, clock satellites, hypersonic intercept platforms from the space, and the future of the space warfare will be driven by the dominance, resilience, new arm race, and the civilian compact. When we talk about the cyber warfare, we talked about land, we talked about the space, we talked about air, naval, but cyber warfare is going to play a very, very important role as a force multiplication for the forces. Past, we have seen the misuse of the computers by creating virus and worms, the denial of service attacks. The present is going to be is the AI powered hacking. We all know ransomware, service chain attacks, quantum resistant encryption, where we have to prepare that our links are going to be hacked. So what is going to be done in future? The next future is going to be the cyber physical integration, where a cyber system can do physical damage, AI versus cyber warfares, quantum hacking, 6G or 5G network warfare, synthetic media, deepfakes. Next generation will talk about the digital twins for cyber battles, neurocyber, and synthetic media warfare, self-replicating AI virus, hacking the DNA databases to changes to create a change in the synthetic pathogens, and the cyber warfare will be more focused on AI dominance, quantum supremacy, hybrid warfare, and the attrition crisis. The EW warfare I have already covered. EW and cyber are going to play very important role. Presently, we are talking about radio electronic combat complexes where a small robot, small mobile units can disable entire drone arms and disable enemy combat communication links. The future will talk about AI-powered EW systems, quantum RF sensing and communication. That is going to change the way we are thinking because it will detect the jam resistance communication with ultra sensitive detection modes. Next generation will talk about the cognitive EW, space EW, biological inspired EW. So the focus is going to be drones, quantum enhanced sensors, and space based jammings. Yes, when we talk about the warfare, we cannot ignore the nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare, and it is going to play another important role in the days coming together. Pre 2000, we have seen nuclear, hydrogen bombs, nuclear tipped cruise missiles. We have seen biological, where toxic arrows and were used, covert decimation methods like smallpox we could spread, chemical like artery cells, weather exploitation, and nerve agents were used. Present, we are talking about hypersonic glide vehicles which will carry the nuclear warheads, stealth and low observability delivery systems, cyber nuclear integration, biological weapons like genetic engineering, synthetic biology is going to be another feature. Chemical improvised delivery system, binary chemical weapons, non-state actor adoptions is going to be a matter of concern. Future force multipliers, as per the NBC is concerned, the artificial intelligence for nuclear targeting and distance support, biological, the nanotech, small toxins, the chemical will have nano dispenser systems, AI-driven dispensing, modeling, and delivery systems, fourth generation agents. And then 2040 onwards, this is going to be a big issue when we talk about the autonomous nuclear armored drones, microbiome engineering attacks, where the disease can be generated and it can be injected into the civilian or soldier during war, chemical, the hypersonic delivery for chemical emulsions, neuroactive chemical agents integrated with warfare is going to be another issue in the past. Now, when we talk about the asymmetric warfare, all of you know, I need not to talk. It started with guerrilla warfare, guerrilla communication, which were the force multipliers. Today, we talk about the commercial drone, where $500 drone can create $1 million damage. Guerrilla tactics having cryptocurrency and dark web is a matter of concern today. Drone arms, deepfakes, autonomous kill bots, OSINT explanation, which is available to everybody. In fact, today the satellite intelligence is being accessed by the terrorists by paying money, and that's a big concern. Biohacking, AI tools, quantum exploits are going to be a matter of big concern. So, coming back to what DRDO has done in the past, Agni series 1 to 4, Prithvi missiles, Rajendra radars, EW systems which have got the battlefield circulation awareness, light combat aircraft, presently working on Agni, Akash NG. This list is not comprehensive because some things have to be discussed closed door. In some of the technologies which I have discussed in the past, these are the available things in the social media and the open domain. and also about the ASAT weapon, which was opened in the social media. DRDO systems in advanced stage trials like HSTDV, QRSAM, swarm drones, DW, they are under development. Next generation will be focused on unmanned combat vehicles, AI-enabled command controls, electromagnetic railguns, which are in concept stage, sixth generation fighters, indigenous military satellite constellations. My idea of presenting these many tools, technologies was that there are a lot of challenges which lies in front of the country, where DRDO has been focusing in collaboration with the startups, industry, and of course the PSUs. And in the coming days, you'll find a lot of things which I discuss are going to come and will be serving to the services. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking talk and the assurance of DRDO's continued commitment to empower the armed forces through innovation.
I now invite Mr. Rajesh Kumar Pathak, Secretary Technology Development Board, to share his knowledge on emerging frontiers in science and technology for a Viksit Bharat. Mr. Rajesh Kumar Pathak is a 1995 batch civil officer. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering from IIT Roorkee and master's degree in technology from IIT Delhi. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in public policy management from IIM Bangalore. In 29 years of long service career, he has held many challenging assignments in central government ministry, government PSU, and autonomous statutory bodies, etc. Sir, I request you to please come up on the stage and deliver your talk.
Good morning to all of you. I, as a bureaucrat, always run the risk when one calls me to deliver talk, that to scientific domain, because I am not a scientist per se, and that too after so thought-provoking talk by by Dr. Mittal, who has already talked about so many technologies. So, but nevertheless, I am here in front of you, and I am really delighted to be on a stage today. I am delighted for the fact that three regions. As a citizen, I first of all salute all of you for the success of Operation Sindoor. Second, as Secretary Technology Development Board, I am proud that some of the product supported by Technology Development Board was used in Operation Sindoor. And third, not the last, I am a proud father of Subhankar, who is 2022 batch IAS officer, was posted as SDM Uri during these 4 days, and he saved more than 50,000 lives in Uri. Even he was told to go back to Baramulla, the district headquarters, he refused, and only one civilian casualty reported in Uri despite so heavy shelling. So these three, and the brigade command has recommended his name for some military medal. I don't know whether he will get it or not, that's a different matter, but I am a proud father. Now coming back to this particular seminar or workshop you have organized, it's a really pertinent as far as your, if you see that the topic itself, that's shaping tomorrow's military today. I just remind, yesterday only CDS Chauhan has said that today's warfare cannot be fought with yesterday's weapon. today's warfare has to be fought with tomorrow's war. So that gives the essence what we are thinking about, right? Similarly, once now we're talking about NIS technology, I again remind of ex-Army General Narmane's word. It says, while we are pursuing for the quest of NIS technology, including AI, as said by Mittalji, it would be prudent to remember that future war will also involve low technology, which is easy to obtain but difficult to defeat. And that's exactly we saw under by Ukraine in the spider web. $1,000 drone has simply wiped out million or billion dollars asset of Russia. So the future warfare is going to be extremely complex. I am not an expert on the warfare per se, but something I want to share what the government perspective, because I am a policymaker, what we are thinking and how we are going to create this entire ecosystem. You might be aware that on 1st of July, before Honorable Prime Minister flew for the 5-nation visit, followed by BRICS Summit, has already approved, or through the cabinet has approved, rupees 1 lakh crore corpus for R&DI fund. We call it RDIF, Research Development Innovation Fund. This is the biggest intervention is going to happen in coming days, and we are grappling with that operational guidelines and how to do it. This 1 lakh crore is meant to support purely the private sector investment. As you might be aware that in India, our expenditure in R&D is roughly around 0.65 to 0.7% of GDP, and as just compared to Israel, where more than 5%, or China, more than 3.2%, like that, and that too 65 to 70% by the government. Private sector contribution is very, very less. So to spur that private sector contribution, we have already come out with this scheme, and we are working on this. Why it is important? Because today everybody is acknowledging that you have to have a stronger public-private partnership. At the one hand, you have the DRDO lab who is working on the technology. Somebody has to take this technology and produce the goods and services in India. IP should reside with Indians so that we can, in fact, one of the words in your flyer, the very first word, it says the technological sovereignty. That is really what we are looking to. We are looking for a strategic autonomy and technology sovereignty in the upcoming technology, where India has the right to win. Few of the technology, for as Mittalji was presenting, already came up, because you see today a handful of 8 or 10 technologies which we are also becoming part of it, is being utilized for developing all those warfare machineries, etc. For example, AI, for example, quantum. Quantum, we have already launched quantum, that mission in year 2023 by DST, and we are at advanced stage in some of the development. And you might be happy, or you may be happy to note that one of the companies supported by TDB, now it is supported by the quantum mission, QNU Lab of Bangalore. They has already developed secured communication using quantum key distribution technology, and they are supplying to armed forces. So this is happening. So in this field, artificial intelligence, giving the mindset of Indian about your mathematics and science, we have here the right to win, and we will. 6G, India is pioneer in the 6G technology. We are going ahead of the world. Earlier we used to 2G, we imported 3G, 4G, even 5G. Now India has deployed their own stakes across country through BSNL and Tejas network. Now it is taken over by Tata. And we are leading the 6G research. Hopefully when the 6G will come, India will be a leader in that. Okay. So things are happening. Supercomputer, for example, that 63,000 crores mission launched by MIT and this chips and etc. So in many various fields, what we are as a policy maker is working on, that dependency on the foreign supply to be reduced as far as possible. Maybe we want to make it nil, so that our data remains secured, and we will be having that advantage during fight. Now coming back one more good example I can give you. Some of the people coming out from your system, I name just one, Mr. Praveen Bhatt. He was Air Vice Marshal, and he came out of Defense Network and now had set up Meta Tattva India Private Limited and took a technology from IIT Kanpur, and they are developing camouflage, manufacturing it for army usage. So it is a classical example of a research institute, IIT, supported by Technology Development Board, and that technology is being used to hide your assets through all visual range, infrared or ultraviolet, whatever you be range. So those assets will be secured. That material we are going to manufacture in India. So this is a classical example. Similarly, we have supported one company called Dwipa. He has taken this technology from your DRDO, and Ugram rifle, which was shown during 2026 parade. They are manufacturing in India that 0.7 to 7.62 mm into 51 mm rifle. I'm not going in that technological domain, but then this is being manufactured in India, supported by TDB, Technology Development Board. If my video is uploaded, then if you can play it, so that I want you to have a feel what my organization is doing by watching this video. This is captured for last 11 years. So please just have few minutes. That will please play. And you know 11-year why. We don't want to say anything more than that.
Technology and innovation are the driving forces of progress. They shape economies, empower people, and build nations. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India is accelerating its growth, science and technology, uniting policy, purpose, and a self-reliant ecosystem to fuel innovation, drive nation building, and shape a new era of global leadership.
डेकेड का समय है, टेक्नोलॉजी का डेकेड है। आपके लिए तो ये डेकेड जिसका मन टेक्नोलॉजी से जुड़ा हुआ है।
The Technology Development Board, TDB, is a statutory body of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. TDB is one of the key institutions driving the commercialization of indigenous technologies across the country to align with the nation's agenda of Atmanirbhar Bharat. In the last decade, under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, TDB has signed over 120 strategic agreements across sectors, backing projects worth more than 4,000 crores, with the committed support of over 1,500 crores, fueling India's innovation economy at scale. TDB has supported the development of some critical technologies over the last decade. Some notable examples include Birla XL, third generation cellulosic fiber lyocell by Grasim Industries Private Limited, a defense manufacturing facility by Tata Power Company Limited. Indigenously developed high-powered linear accelerators or LINAC for cancer treatment by Panacea Medical Technologies. IoT-enabled solar water purification unit Boon by Swajal Water Private Limited. The first intranasal COVID-19 and S-malaria vaccine by Sapigen Biologics Private Limited. A swarming system of 500 to 1,000 drones for 3D choreographed light shows by BotLab Dynamics. Metal injection molding of implants, robotic surgical instruments and devices by Orange Coe Private Limited. And the advanced ICU ventilators by Nokak Robotics Private Limited. Under the Modi 3.0 government in 2024-25, TDB has launched 7 mission-critical calls for proposals across critical sectors like semiconductors, clean energy, deep tech, agri-tech, med-tech, defense tech, and space tech ventures. The response was phenomenal. 221 proposals received, with many high-impact projects funded like Sahaj Anand Medical's Tavi technology is revolutionizing cardiac care in India. Vipa Defense is driving self-reliance as the first private company to manufacture assault rifles. S3V Vascular is saving lives globally with advanced stroke treatment kits. Midwest is fueling India's EV and electronics growth with indigenous rare earth magnets. Agnikul's Agniban, a customizable and cost-effective 2-stage rocket, aims to make India a small satellite launch hub. Together, these projects account for a total cost of over 650 crores, with TDB's committed support of more than 200 crores. As India rises as the 4th largest economy in the world, a technological revolution is transforming the nation's future. In this Amrit Kal, the Technology Development Board is not just funding innovation, they are scripting the blueprint of a self-reliant and tech-empowered India.
Thank you. Have you noticed that one of the project, rare earth, it is already rare earth magnet. If you any day you go to the newspaper, you will find lots of talk that China has stopped. This is the first company in India who is now going to produce rare earth magnet from rare earth oxide supplied by IREL. This is the first such project outside China. And the production is going to commence in another 6 months or so. We are a very advanced stage. We funded this project 2 years back when this kind of talk was not there. And fortunately, the technology is our indigenous, developed by NFTDC, an organization under Ministry of Mines. What I want to stress that India has the capability. We have the talent. We have the organization, research organization, who is producing cutting edge, path breaking technology. The only missing link was the kind of private investment which needs to be come into, take those technology, take risk and produce it. As we all know, private sector normally basically consider their bottom line and they don't want to take riskier project. For this 1 lakh crore corpus where we are ready to support long duration, giving them the patient capital at very even equity and low interest rate. Maybe in fact in the budget announcement it is said nil or zero interest, very less interest rate. So I am sure with this intervention and the kind of support we can get from our technological institution, I am sure that our future is going to be very bright. Only one thing I expect from like armed forces, which is basically creating an impediment, especially those technologies related to defense, that demand aggregation, because many of the startup is funded, they come back to us and say that I am not getting the kind of demand support, and in your cases, you are the only user. If that technology is, you are only going to use it. And in many cases, we found that people, in fact, India has to come out with this mindset of assemble nation. We have to be IP generated nation. We have to quickly shift to that. Many of this, they come from outside. They just assemble and say that this is made in India and this is accepted by our end user, including armed forces. We have to decide some mechanism through which we can isolate them, promote people who are really working in India, IP creation and all this those kind of critical component. For example, drone. Critical component is still coming from China. So we are now going to focus many of this strategical sector identified in this cabinet note itself, and that is going to be expanded, where we need India to be self-reliant, and from that technological sovereignty perspective. And of course, few sector which I have already told, and if I name it, probably you all know about it, being artificial intelligence or IOMT now it is called, Internet of Military Things. Forget about Internet of Things, because all your equipments has to, in future, probably talk to each other and then devise a strategy how to fail that attacks or how to go about our own attack. Probably quantum computing, already talked about. We have, I already said it. Or augmented reality or virtual reality, probably to simulate, to train your manpower to be battle ready. You may not need a battlefield. Probably you can utilize this technology to train that. Or cyber security, and it is going to be the key already talked about by Mittalji. Or you say, for example, robotics on a vehicle where India has technology, but it is low in technology. If we go to, I don't know whether we have the technology of high altitude and low endurance, HAL we call it, or GNSS. We do not have at present. In fact, one company I can see, Big Bang Boom, I think its CTO might be, you are here? You know that we have funded one of your project with Israeli participation? You are waiting for the results, so I am announcing the result. We have already approved in the governance board. You will get the result soon. Okay, so it is not only that India, TDB is also working with in collaboration with the foreign, like Israel, South Korea, UK, where a company from Israel and company from India, for example, Big Bang, they can come together for a purpose, a project, and their company will be funded by that country, and Indian company will be funded by Government of India through TDB, and that joint IP will be generated for not only these two countries, for the world to use it. So one of the example, Big Bang I talked about, and the result is already, will be announced very soon, okay? So at the end, I would like to conclude my, I think already taken my time. We have the will. We have, now there is no dearth of money. The government has the will to invest, and that's why 1 lakh crore corpus. You as a user, he also have the will to use indigenous technology, and we have the scientific communities across sectors. If all come together, probably we will create a wonderful future, not only for the warfare, in the other domain as well, and definitely in the field of future warfare. Thank you, and thanks for inviting me and giving me time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us.
With this, we now commence session 4 on autonomous warriors, robotics, and autonomous systems. This session will explore the revolutionary potentials of autonomous systems, from unmanned ground and aerial platforms to self-healing swarms. It will also delve into effectiveness of autonomous assets in active theaters. To give a dynamic start to the session, may I please welcome the moderator for the session, Dr. Anupam Sharma, Distinguished Scientist, DRDO.
Moving on to the panelists, I would like to call upon Mr. Yatan Kumar Mishra, Assistant Vice President, Tata Advanced Systems Limited, to speak on future trends in unmanned aerial assets for military applications. Mr. Yatan Kumar Mishra is bringing expertise in engineering management within the defense and aerospace sector. He holds a master's degree in control and instrumentation from IIT Mumbai and is currently based in Bangalore.
Our next panelist is Dr. Shivaraman Ramaswamy, co-founder and Chief Technical Officer, Big Bang Boom Solutions. He will be delving into the robotic combat systems. I request Dr. Shivaraman to join the dais. He is currently heading the research and product development functions of Big Bang Boom Solutions. He did his master's in nanotechnology and doctorate in nanomagnetism. He has published over 35 international publications and has been instrumental in the establishment of Nanotechnology Research Center at Bharat University. He is a visiting student at Carnegie Mellon University.
The next panelist to join the panel is Dr. Meena Mishra, Distinguished Scientist, Director, Solid State Physics Laboratory, DRDO. Ma'am, please take your designated chair. Dr. Meena Mishra did her PhD from Jamia Millia Islamia University and MSc Electronics from Delhi University. She has more than 34 years of experience in the field of semiconductor research and indigenous development of integrated circuits for strategic applications. She is currently leading the indigenization of various state-of-art technologies and has received prestigious awards for research and development work. I now request the moderator to please start the session.
Good morning once again. We have got the session for autonomous warriors, robotics and autonomous systems, and we have got three brilliant speakers. My first job as a moderator is I have to maintain time, so each speaker is going to get 15 to 20 minutes so that we have got more time left for the questions and answers. The first speaker is Dr. Yatan Kumar Mishra, who is Associate Vice President at Tata Advanced Systems Limited, and he is going to talk about future trends in unmanned air assets for military. He has got experience as a system engineer in defense pertaining to missiles. I understand MRSAM. Also, wide experience in the development of sensors and systems. Just to give you a brief about the topic, unmanned aerial systems have evolved from simple reconnaissance tool to multi-role combat assets, reshaping modern warfare. Next generation unmanned aerial systems will integrate artificial intelligence, swarming, stealth, manned and unmanned teaming, offering unprecedented flexibility in military operations. I request Dr. Yatan Kumar Mishra to begin the presentation.
Respected and distinguished dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Having worked in defense systems for last almost 26 years now, when the topic given to me was future trends in unmanned aerial assets, I was wondering most of the times, like I was listening to Gaur Saab yesterday, and he said whether old systems are still relevant or not relevant. And most of the times I have spent my career in developing those systems like Sanyukta EW system or ADHS, Air Defense Data Handling Systems, Pinaka, Akash, ATAGS, MRSAM, all these systems I have been working throughout my career. And then I was thinking whether this topic I'll be really able to do justice. But of the late, I can tell you, like I have been working on unmanned alien platforms, and I will try my level best to do. Just an overview of what as Tata Group. I think Tata Group does not need any introduction, at least to this audience. We work from salt to satellite, now we call. Earlier we used to call salt to software, and now we call salt to satellite. So we work in almost all the domains which touch the lives of Indians. Tata Advanced Systems, we generally are divided into 4 segments. One is aerostructures and aero engines. This is primarily build to print kind of thing for Lockheed, Boeing, or Sikorsky. Aerostructures we manufacture in Hyderabad. The second is airborne platforms and systems. I think C295 is being handled by this division. And the same division works on UAVs, which our division is supporting on the automation part and the power supply and autopilot, rest of the functionality of that UAV. The third division, which I have been representing, was weapon sensor and C4I systems, where we mainly deals with guns and launchers, EW system, or radars, all these sensors, or electro-optic. So EO sites is one, I think most of you are aware. We are supplying to all the armed forces, even paramilitary. The last is land mobility division, which primarily deals with defense vehicles and all future infantry combat vehicles and other things. They will be done. These are some of the products. I mean, just to sum up, these are the areas on which we have been working. And let me tell you, we have been working in defense for last 50 years now. Yeah. So coming back to UAV, you see how technology has evolved over the years. Started with small drones, and then it had less endurance, less reach, and finally we are at a stage where we are talking about strategic UAVs, which can which has very high altitude, long endurance kind of UAVs. As every technology has, we also work on miniaturizing those UAVs and becoming like a beast type nano UAVs. Second is the automation part. Started with RPAs. Most of these were remotely piloted UAVs, and now we are talking about full autonomous UAVs. Then most of the times, I mean, so far we have been talking about standalone UAVs, UAV in a particular mission. People are talking about swarms, but swarms is still, I would say, although a coordinated UAV, but it has a long way to go. And now we are also talking about swarm of swarms. So that is how it will possibly evolve over the period. From a stealth perspective, it all started with low probability of intercept because of reach. But now, since it is getting into mail and hail, and so you will have all these interceptions very possible, and that is why people are also looking at a lot of stealth technology. Possibly, ma'am will be talking about. Endurance, we already talked about. This I am not getting into the history. I think most of you are aware of the history. What are the applications? ISR is one, which is very common, and mostly people thought that UAVs will only be used for ISR applications in military. But now we see, as the advancement has happened, and especially in last decade, now we are talking about combat UAVs, and including kamikaze role or decoy roles, and these are very important. As a technologist, you really do not know these platforms will be finally exploited for which purpose. Uh, as technologists, we only look at the capabilities which a platform can give you. But at the same time, we see the military applications, how it can be utilized. EW, soft kill, hard kill, this we will talk about. It can be used for logistics support, search and rescue operations. This, I guess, even yesterday it was talked about. General Shankar also brought out those points. Force multiplier, everyone knows that, it's not an addition to the force, it's actually a multiplication, because even a small set of individuals having these access to these UAVs can be much more damaging to the adversaries rather than with some small set of their inventory. Low risk, because obviously it's remotely piloted or fully autonomous. Cost effective, persistence presence, basically we are talking about hail or mail kind of UAVs, and the asymmetric edge. Operational integrations, we talked about say man-unmanned teaming, and I know that there are many programs which are going on right now as say loyal wingman to 5th generation fighter aircraft. There's a program called CATS. Similarly, you have this Swift, which is in Tabika's role, a miniaturized version of Ghatak UAV we are talking about. Then, so that is manned mission and unmanned mission to be integrated. So that is one part of that. Second is all C3 integration, and that is going to be a challenge. I mean, so far, all these C3s are made for manned missions based on all the sensors which you have. But now we need to integrate that with these UAVs, unmanned assets. So we need that C2 structure integration as well. Then, since we are talking about so many flying bodies in air, we need to coordinate even in peacetime with ATMs of civil or other manned platforms. So that coordination becomes another challenge. And the last one is interoperability with other UAVs or UGVs or underwater vehicles. So that we need to work on. What is the expectation from a UAV? The expectations are collision avoidance. I mean, since lot many UAVs will be flying, you need to have automated collision avoidance system. That possibly is one area which we are looking at. The airspace decongestion, that is another area which we are looking at. Then with the advent of AI and ML, so first let us look at why AI and ML is being talked about. Since we have a huge amount of data because of the sensors, so what we started doing that, we started putting sensors almost everywhere, okay? And now these sensors, since these sensors are pumping so much of data, finally you need that information. And yesterday, I think we talked about data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So what happened is all these technologies started giving you a lot of data. And now you started finding out what information is useful to me. And it becomes almost humanly impossible to analyze so much of data or so much of information. And that is where possibly AI stepped in. And AI is now it is doing is it is getting trained with those data and giving you inferences. And normally what we call in AI is not artificial intelligence, it's actionable items. So that is what we normally call. So this, with this advent of AI, we feel that all the platforms which will be flying with a lot of sensors on board, they will be able to take the decisions at the edge itself, at the platform itself. So that is one thing which we are looking at. So the other one is the resource management. I mean, now since these platforms are having a lot of sensors and maybe even effectors, we have to find a solution for those resources, how it is getting managed, how to increase the efficiency or the performance of the system on board. And the last one is mission adaptations. I mean, now we are also talking about all these UAVs which will be flying. They can be repurposed while in air for different missions. So that capability is another which we are working on. Now coming back to the technology part, let us look at the propulsion, I mean, which is very important. We are talking about electric propulsion. Initially, all these either battery based or fuel cell based. We need to have a lot of research in that energy storage area. I mean, lithium, multiple formats of lithium batteries are being utilized, but they all have limited capability. So we need to look at those aspects. Mostly you will find the electric propulsion is either through battery, fuel cell, or supercapacitors. We are also looking at, say, hybrid propulsion, where you mix IC engine with electric motors, and then you have this capability. We are also talking about distributor of multiple propulsion, and this is not just I mean, we are just talking about. This is actually being produced nowadays. Adaptive propulsion is still, I would say, under concept, which is inspired by avian. It's basically, if you look at most of the flying objects are based on the nature's, whatever we feel, I mean, find in the nature, whether it's bird or any other flying object, and we have tried to mimic that. So that is one which is still under research on adaptive propulsion through morphing wing. And then the last is high altitude near space. This I just covered, like what kind of coordination can happen between, say, different types of propulsion systems. So you have fuel based, you have electric based, and you have hybrids. So these three are the combinations which are possible and which is being exploited right now in multiple UAVs. What are the intended advancements? We need the minimum weight of the platform, and it should carry maximum payload. That's the usual requirement. It should have maximum endurance, efficient processing, robust communication. Now, that is very important. I mean, so far we have been talking about all these flying objects, all integrated or networked together. Communication becomes a major challenge with the advent of 5G and maybe in the next generation 6G. We will have these communication which will give you enough bandwidth. At the same time, it will be much more secure. We need resilient and accurate navigation, and I mean, that becomes very important. Nowadays, you will find most of the UAVs which are flying, they are based on either GPS. In some cases, it will have some sort of IMU, but still, these are primarily using GPS. So when you are working in, say, GPS in denied environment, it's very important that you have systems where you can have these accurate and resilient navigation. Yesterday, I think we talked about NAVIC. NAVIC needs to be much more improved. At the same time, I would say quantum navigation is coming in a big way. Possibly that will also disrupt. Quantum, in fact, we will talk about that to some extent, not in detail. Then we are also talking about recoverable and reusable systems, especially those which are in kamikaze, and for some region, if you want to abort that mission and if you want to recover it, that also should be possible. We are also looking at UAVs being launched from different platforms. I mean, recent advancements are happening where you can launch a UAV from a gun, say from an artillery gun. So that also is a possibility. I mean, we are also looking at UAVs launched from, say, canisters. Then low cost is always a requirement. Self-destruct capability, and many times I see that all these UAVs which are being manufactured, it does not have self-destruct capability, and that becomes a challenge when we are actually using these UAV in a contested environment where everyone tries to, in case of any malfunction or mission abort, they try to decipher what exactly was on that particular platform. These are the future directions which we looked at: AI/ML exploitation, material science for performance efficiency, stealth. So when we talk about stealth, it should be noise suppression, radar absorption, thermal shielding, or camouflage. High density energy storage, I already talked about. We are also talking about now UAVs being mid-air refueling for UAVs, especially for male and HAL class. Propulsion technology, I already talked about. We are also have to look at motors. So far, it has been PMSM or BLDC motors. We should look at, say, superconducting motors. Ramjet engines are being used nowadays for, say, hypersonic UAVs. Communication, I already talked about. Use of quantum technology is something which is very important for detection, processing, communication, and navigation. I think sir talked about QKD based communications. We also need to look at, say, post quantum cryptography, the blockchain technology. I mean, blockchain technology, most of the times it is only limited to bitcoins and others. We need to look at all these technology being utilized to secure our communication. With the advancements of 3D printing, I believe now slowly it will move from all these systems being developed by OEMs to final end user who can straight away do all these 3D printing and make those UAVs. Like any other system, once you make one system, it actually gives option to create another system. And then once we are talking about UAV, we are also talking about counter UAVs. And that is where these directed energy weapon system or high power microwave or soft kill systems are being getting into the advancements. We also need to look at swarm or swarm of swarms protocols. I think DARPA has started working on that. We also need to look at such protocols for interoperability. Ethical concerns, anyway, is a known thing. Just to give a snapshot of what these systems are and how these are the roles. These are the references. With that, I thank you all for giving me opportunity to speak on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yatin Kumar Mishra. We have brought out very clearly the application of drones in offensive and defensive applications for the military, its sustainability in terms of propulsion and also the battery systems, its autonomy, GNSS-less navigation, its protection in terms of the quantum communication. In the conclusion, I just want to add that as far as the next generation unmanned air vehicle systems are concerned, they will define the air superiority blending with AI stealth and swarm tactics, and that will outmaneuver the traditional defenses. That is what we have seen in Ukraine and Russia war and also in Ops Sindhu. So nation investing in autonomous, retrieval, and network drones. When we talk about swarms, these are the network drones, are going to dominate future conflicts. And this will make our adversary to think more in terms of quantum measures, but before the quantum measure comes, the swarms are going to attack. So it's going to be a real challenge for all of us. I just want to mention a specific point which you said about the batteries, like lithium-ion batteries. We are heavily dependent on China as far as the lithium is concerned. A lot of research is going on with the startups and also the universities where hydrogen-based and sodium-ion-based batteries are going to come. And wherever we go for a kind of a development, we should see, our country should be self-reliant as far as each module is concerned, so that our dependency from the other countries can be made minimum. Thank you very much for your presentation. The next speaker is Dr. Shiv Raman, co-founder of CTO and Big Bang Boom Solutions. I think he has to highlight giving such a interesting name to the company. I am very keen to know about it. And he heads the electronic warfare, AI, nanotechnologies, anti-drone systems, and work on the naval solutions also. And just to give the introduction to his topic, robotic combat systems for offensive and defensive operations. The ground-based robotic combat systems are transforming battlefield dynamics, offering reduced risk to human soldiers, enhancing the lethality and persistence operational capabilities. These systems range from small reconnaissance drone to heavily armored autonomous tanks, integrating AI, advanced sensors, and network warfare capabilities. So over to you, Dr. Shivraman.
Thank you, sir. I genuinely thank the Army Commander and SIDM for having me here. Without much ado, I'll try to jump to my topic, robotic combat systems for defensive and offensive applications. And I'll be trying to see if I can cover this topic across the domains that are split. Broadly, the robotic combat systems of today's generation and what we're looking at coming up tomorrow can be broadly classified based on the domain of their engagement or the theater of their engagement. So we have land robots, we have air robots, and we have water-based robots. Land robots are fairly a mature technology as far as today's world is concerned. We've already seen robots being used very, very successfully for applications such as bomb detection, battlefield surveillance, etc. Recently, over the last couple of years, the Indian Army has also successfully inducted mules for transportation of goods and heavy objects in the battlefield, and robotic dogs that can be used again for surveillance and reconnaissance and even attack missions. These are very, very interesting developments. These are things that has taken over 2 decades of R&D and work that's around the world. That is now seeing the light of the day. We are trying to see, we are in a position now where we can exploit or we can utilize these in active combat situations. The biggest advantage of having robotics on the battlefield is primarily the preservation and protection of the human life when in extremely high impact situations, especially during a breach or where the first line of an attack or a defensive strategy is to put up a set of soldiers. Now there's an option for us available where we can deploy machinery, we can deploy machines, and they can take the brunt of the heat as far as things are concerned. But what is looking very interesting, or where people are going, is that once these robotic systems have now been developed, people are trying to see if they can integrate these robotic systems with various levels of autonomy. And one of the most interesting and most obvious applications of these are robotized tanks. In fact, while Big Bang Boom today is known for multiple other technologies, when we started the company back in 2008, our first proposal was to build an autonomous variant for the existing T-72, T-90, basically an upgrade kit that will allow the soldiers to be able to be safely residing inside a bunker and operate a tank in the front lines without having to expose our shoulders. Because as you gentlemen will know much better than me, the fatality rate in a downed armored vehicle is very, very high. Once the armored vehicle has been taken out of the commission, it's almost impossible for the soldiers to get out successfully. So that was the first problem we set out to solve. Obviously, we ran into a number of hurdles trying to see if we can do it. A small variant of it called the see-through armor, where we improve the situational awareness of armored vehicles, has been implemented. We worked with the mechanized infantry on something like that. It's still to be inducted. We're still in the final stages of trials, but it's something that's very, very promising. So the robot tanks, basically the applications of it, there is literally no question. Like if you're able to deliver that level of firepower from a remotely controlled weapon station, there is absolutely zero issues or zero reasons for why it will not be useful. The approach for it is basically what the challenge is. There are 2 major approaches that people have taken around the world. One, we can look at a platform like Themis, which has been designed and developed as an unmanned vehicle. And then you try and see how much of firepower you can add to this particular platform. The second approach is you take the existing platform, you take the BMP2s, you take the T-72s, the T-90s, and you try and see if a robotization can happen to the existing platform. You can see if you can put an electromechanical kit, a set of sensors, etc., and allow this to be retrofitted into a robotic vehicle. The two approaches, I think the criticality of it would be where we stand as far as our current infrastructure is concerned, and where India stands today with our large armored fleet. I think there is a merit in considering the retrofitting approach. It's a challenging approach, but it is something I think with the current capabilities of the OFBs, where we have started now manufacturing the tanks with CVRD, HVF, and a number of startups working in the field, is something that we should be able to do. Moving forward, the most interesting developments as far as robotic land systems are concerned are the intelligence inputs that we are now receiving that humanoids have started testing in multiple countries. There have been humanoid robots that have been tested by multiple countries. These are robots that are capable of almost 80% of the form, fit, function, mobility capabilities of the humans as such. Ability to run, walk, jump, fire a gun, fire a ATGM. These robots have already started being tested across the world, and these seem to be the next generation of robotic, both combat and both offensive and defensive systems that will see the light of the day. But another interesting application that has emerged is what is known as medical robotics. So TVS in India has pioneered a very, very interesting autonomous platform, which is capable of evacuating multiple soldiers from the battlefield. So the application here is to have an autonomous robot that is meant to evacuate injured soldiers. So currently in a lot of combats around the world, when faced with asymmetric threats, there is usually an intention to do what is known as an attritive warfare. So instead of trying to kill our enemy, we try and seriously wound a soldier, because killing a person means there is one enemy who's down. But a seriously injured soldier means that somebody has to take him back to base camp. You can't leave a soldier around. And so you actually pull 3 people of your opposing forces out of equation, at least for a temporary period of time. To counter this kind of warfare, there are robots that have been designed, and a platform like that is available in India also, where the robotic platform can either remotely piloted or autonomously enter the battlefield, pick up to 2 injured soldiers and bring them back to safety without having to compromise on our ability to engage in offensive warfare. And the other application that is equally impressive is one of the biggest problems across the battlefield is fires. Obviously, there's a lot of explosions, etc. There are autonomous firefighting robots. These are again a mature technology that can be inducted as early as tomorrow if there's a requirement, that is able to detect and put out fires without any human intervention. So the ability of robotics to transform land warfare is, as I told, absolutely no doubt about it. The second domain where robotics plays a big role is obviously the air domain. Now, our previous speaker spoke about UAVs, combat UAVs, etc. I think if we start talking about drones and UAVs, I can spend another 1-2 hours talking and we'll still not come to the end of the day. So I'll sort of just leapfrog a little bit. I will leave the UCAVs, the UAV surveillance drones, even the swarm drones for a minute, because all this I think has been discussed quite a bit. One of the most interesting developments that we are currently seeing in the field of air robotics, or drones as we call it, is the level of miniaturization that is possible. Black Hornets, I think some of them are deployed with our forces also, were considered the state of the art. But recent reports indicate that countries have developed even smaller drones. These are being called mosquito drones. A drone that's 0.6 centimeters in size and 3 grams in weight, that is able to give real-time surveillance feedback back to a base for up to 1.5-2 kilometers. Absolutely unimaginable, even in being a, let's say, a small, I'm not a big drone manufacturer, I'm a very small drone manufacturer. But being a drone manufacturer, I know how much we struggle to make a nano drone, a 250-gram drone. We ended up at 249.5 grams, and still we were not able to meet the QRs defined. To be able to develop a drone in 3 to 4 grams is unimaginable today, but that's where the world is at. So the air combat systems, people are focusing, one, on extremely miniaturized systems and subsystems. that can really change the way surveillance is being done, and persistent surveillance especially being done, because these robots, it could be present in a hall like this and we would not even realize it with the amount of ambient noise that's going on around us. The second, again, an interesting observation, and this is something that we contributed to another development, is the use of UAVs for as a medical recovery tool. This is again being funded by the DARPA to a company known as Valkyrie Systems in the US, where they have developed an autonomous, unpiloted or optionally piloted drone. So what does the optionally piloted means? It's a drone that can either be piloted by a pilot or it can be flown like a drone, that is able to take two soldiers who are completely, let's say, injured, along with one helper, and fly them back to a base. So this looks at rapid evacuation of injured soldiers from the front lines to the base camp in needs of threat. This is again a completely autonomous system. It's been funded for the last 8 years now. It's currently going through flight trials. Very, very interesting Valkyrie systems. The good part about it is that they have also enhanced it with a swarming algorithm that allows for multiple Valkyries. And I had given a presentation to this to ADB around 1.5 to 2 years back when we had gotten involved with the project, where multiple Valkyries can talk to each other. So there's a surveillance drone that spots the number of injured soldiers. It's able to inform the transport drone to come by, get the soldiers onboarded, and then this entire thing happens autonomously, thereby allowing us to clear hundreds of soldiers rapidly out of injured soldiers who are there in the front lines that are there. Again, a very interesting variant of drones being used for defensive purposes, or this thing is again for firefighting. I'm very humbly this thing that we've been working with the Indian Navy on something like this. We got an IDEX project where they've asked us to build an autonomous drone that can work under inside a closed environment. A ship is essentially a Faraday's cage. So we need a drone that can operate in complete isolation, in the absence of any GPS signals, any GNSS signals, etc. Navigate obstacles, so that means obstacle avoidance, altitude adjustment, be able to navigate through doors, rooms, and new environments. So because the ship's environment keeps changing, so the drone needs to find its way in, identify a fire, and then drop a 1 kg aerosol canister on top of it. So the technologies that are involved in this are AI-based navigation, LiDAR technology, absolute absence of this thing. So all the compute load has to sit on the drone itself. And then we are able to successfully put out a fire. It's very similar. So what we have sort of focused on as far as the drone tech is concerned is we have sort of decided that our focus will be on building only autonomous drones, primarily for defensive applications or dual use applications per se. The last domain, and as interesting as the air and the land-based domain, is the use of robotics in water applications. This is something that companies like Saga Defense has really pioneered in our ecosystem. The development of unmanned surface vehicles. These are robotic boats that can travel on the surface of the water, be able to carry payloads, surveillance, or any kind of deterrence systems that are there per se. This can be used not only for attack, but one of the very interesting applications that we have been working on is what is known as a non-lethal naval deterrence technology. So what we do is we use the unmanned surface vehicles to be able to deploy a nanotech-based hydrophobic hydrophilic polymer. The polymer expands when it comes in contact with water, forming a gelatinous substance. The gelatinous substance basically is hydrophobic in nature. A part of it is hydrophobic in nature. So it sticks to any metal objects that are there nearby. So in principle, a boat, a ship, or a rudder, or the sea chest of a marine vessel, etc. Thereby preventing a free flow of the water. It sort of fouls the propeller and allows and prevents the boat from moving forward, allowing for board visit, search, seizure operations without damaging the boat or without having to use lethal force against the people inside a boat. Again, implemented using unmanned surface vessels. The polymer can be very, very quickly dispersed in open waters or in restricted waters, thereby creating a very asymmetric advantage to any navy that is able to use these kind of technologies. The second variant of naval robots are underwater naval robots. This is something that I think a lot of work has gone in the last 2-3 years now, where what we are trying to do is trying to see if, even if it is not a very comprehensive submarine, but are there, can we develop these systems that can operate in, let's say, partly submerged modes, very close to the surface of the water, just underneath. The biggest challenge that happens underneath is communication, right? I mean, if we are able to communicate very effectively under the water, then any kind of unmanned systems is possible under the water. But given the limitations of the communications today, the focus has been on near surface underwater robotics. And I think we will see very interesting products that are coming out in this particular domain. Again, on the top of ships, firefighting becomes a very big challenge. Here is again a robot that has been very successfully deployed by the Indian Navy, a company named Swadeshi Impresa, again an IDEX startup that has developed firefighting bots, which is able to effectively put out large fires on the decks of aircraft, etc. I think they've already won a fairly large order as far as things are concerned. What we see in the future is basically a combination of these robots. These are individual domains that we're talking about. We are already seeing land, water robots like amphibians. We are already seeing water, air drones that are being inducted, and rooster drones, which I think the Army has already released an RFP for, which basically are drones that can fly and also roll on the ground. The next generation of this is going to be a combination, a single robotic system that can navigate all three domains, land, air, and sea, is capable of surveillance and offensive actions both. That would be the pinnacle of what robotic systems can do for the military. And I hope I'm part of that journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shiv Raman, for your talk. I just remember that in the month of January, we were discussing with the CDS General Chauhan, and he was telling that so many things to be done. What is your views about developing the technologies? So I only told that tomorrow war has to be fought with the technologies, and everybody in the civilian domain, startup, the industry must think that they are soldiers having no uniform. So today when you are talking about injuring an adversary so that more assets of the adversary can be used to take care of him, I was just thinking that we are in the right direction. And the way you were speaking, though you are not in uniform, I was thinking some soldier is talking and he's explaining about the application, how to fight future generation war. I'm very thrilled with your presentation. Same thing happened with Mr. Ketan Kumar Mishra. Just to conclude that the robotic combat systems are rapidly advancing, shifting from support role to frontline competence. While semi-autonomous system is dominating today, AI-driven, fully autonomous unmanned vehicles in sea, air, and ground will likely to emerge in the next decade, forcing militaries to adapt tactics and countermeasures. Thank you very much for your nice speech. We go to the next presenter, Dr. Meena Mishra, OSA and Director, SSPL. And she is the director of SSPL, which is developing semiconductor materials, solid state devices, sensors, IR systems for defense, and some of the recent innovative areas like atomic clocks, photon devices, and also deeply associated with quantum secure communication. Something which I want to tell about her, that when I met her first time, me as a scientist, when I see a system, I see what is imported. And because I was working in the space domain, I found that the space qualified solar cells are imported. So I went to her lab 6 months back and I said, Madam, I feel pain looking at that the India is using space qualified solar cells which are imported. And if tomorrow there is a war, how we are going to act? She has put a team of experts, and they came out with a design where next month they are going to prove those triple junction solar cells on ground, and then we will take it to the space. Thank you, Madam. the kind of zeal you have shown. And I think whenever I meet any industry or a startup, I always say that, can you indigenize it? So coming back to her topic about use of nanotechnology and smart materials, the modern defense systems are increasingly relying on advanced material science to enhance survivability, lethality, and operational efficiency. Breakthroughs in nanotechnologies, metamaterials, and smart adaptive systems are revolutionizing the military application, from lightweight armor to stealth, cloaking, and self-healing structures. So I request you, madam, to present the.
Thank you, sir. Respected GOCNC Lieutenant General Manjinder Singh and Dr. Anupam Sharma ji for such nice introduction, and thanks to Claus for introducing me to such an august gathering. Today, I'm really thankful that you have given me a chance to showcase some of the things which are indigenously available and can be used in various systems. So my topic today, as has been told, is nanostructures, nanotechnology and smart sensors. So I will talk about what we have done at SSPL, which is a lab of DRDO, and I'm heading that lab, and what all sensors have been made, what all technologies are available. We are into material technology, device technology, and we are also now started making prototypes. For past 2 days, I'm very thankful that I was really enlightened that what kind of things you people are looking for, and where are the gaps and where we can fit in. So what I understood, I have summarized in two things, two slides only, that we want that the battlefield should have a good connectivity, lethality, and we all want the autonomous systems. The warfare strategies have also changed. They have gone to distributed warfare, and they're using kinetic as well as non-kinetic kind of things for this. So what I could summarize from my angle was that we want sensors, we want good sensors, and we want network capabilities, and this all we require for a better situational awareness. So these are some of the technologies which are required, and vis-a-vis each technology, I will tell you what are the solutions which are available with us. So starting with, as I have understood in the talk which these two gentlemen have given, and whatever we have understood yesterday, everything depends on these sensors and how you gather data from the sensor, and how using AI by fusing the data, you come out with the good solutions. So let us talk about the sensors. In sensors, we have got various types of sensors. Starting from acoustic up to terahertz, we are making our own sensors. In MEMS, we are using MEMS technology. Using MEMS technology, we are making inertial navigation, pressure sensing, safe and arm devices. We also have sensors for explosive detection, remote temperature sensing. We are making our low phase noise oscillators. You know, right now there is no system, whether it is Army, Navy, or Air Force, which can be operated without a low phase noise oscillator, and we are importing right now. And I can tell you, we have tested our low phase noise oscillators vis-a-vis whatever we are purchasing from outside, except for the size factor. Our size is 2 times, and that also they have, I think, 3 mm by 4 mm. Ours is 4 by 5 mm. That is the only size difference, but we have the solution. We have acoustic sensors using which we are making avalanche detection. Blast sensors we are making using our own SAW sensors. We have come out with UV detection for missile warning, and you can see from here the size of the sensors is so small. Using MEMS sensors, we are supplying our micro accelerometers and the high-G MEMS switches for all the missile applications and all the other applications. I think it was two weeks back when USA had launched an attack on Iran, and at that time we were told that the explosion had to happen four levels behind. So these are the kind of switches which are required, and you can see from the internet such kind of switches are not something which you can import, but these switches are being made in indigenously designed and fabricated, and they are available in numbers from, we have a foundry, Star C Bangalore, where we are making them in limited production series, and they, uh, because we cannot export it anywhere, but we are making it for you only. Then we have with us the nanotechnology based chemical sensors, which we are using for explosive detection. We have SAW-based systems. Using SAW-based systems, we have made eNASICA, with which you can have the chemical warfare detection. And using this, we are also making various kinds of other systems like low phase noise oscillator and wireless sensors. Using acoustic sensors, which we have made indigenously, we have made avalanche detection system, which we have deployed at 4 or 5 sites. Then now we are into landslide detection system. So these are some of the things which we have used with the products which we have come out with our own sensors. I remember, I think 4 or 5 months back, there was a meeting at NSA office. MA sir was there, and he said ki, I have heard that using acoustic sensors, people outside are making acoustic detection radars. So now we have, using our own sensors, we have made acoustic detection radar also, although the detection range is only 500 meters, and now we are going to deploy AI with it, and we are going to increase the range. A lot was talked about DW. We are into laser technology also. We are making our own laser diodes, and this technology has been implemented at our limited production center, that is at GATEC, Hyderabad. So we are making laser diodes for DW, for laser communication, as well as for quantum sensing and quantum communication. So we have our own technology. The technology was developed at SSPL, and it has been deployed at GATEC, Hyderabad. And anybody who wants the laser diodes to be made at any wavelength, they can approach GATEC or they can approach SSPL. We can do for you. These are the kind of products which we have come out with, the laser diodes which we have made. We have laser diodes for different wattages, 2 watt, 5 watt, 10 watt, 50 watt, 110 watt. And in pulse mode, we have gone up to 550 watt, which is required for the proximity sensing. We are using these laser diodes for underwater communication, which is a blue laser diode. And then we are using for proximity fuse, we are using for laser fencing, we are using for DEW. Then coming over to, we have heard a lot that you have to have, for having a good situational awareness, you have to have a hyperspectral imaging. For hyperspectral imaging, we are working in all the IR domains. We are into SWIR, we are into MWIR, and we are into LWIR also. This is just to show that why we are into all the IR domains. Because when you get the picture in one domain, and but every domain has its own advantage and disadvantage. So if you can fuse the data by getting the picture from all the domains, then the picture is very, very clear and it has more data. So that is why we are working into all these domains. In SWIR, we have only we in India have the technology to make SWIR detectors, and we are making our SWIR detectors. We have converted into cameras, and now we are going to, this is just to show the comparison of an imported sensor with our sensor. It is 640 by 512, 15 micron. Then as I told you, that we are into MWIR also. For MWIR, you require the cooling of the detector to happen. So we have developed our own JT cooler and Stirling cooler. This Stirling cooler, it's a very good story. I don't have the time, but Army has taken this Stirling cooler technology for repairing that HHTI, and right now BSF has also taken this technology from us. And there is one big company which works on MWIR sensors, Lindred, and SCDs, right? They have tested our cryo coolers, and now they are saying that you give us your coolers and we'll make you the part of our global chain. That is something for which we are really proud of. This is the MCT-based MWIR camera, which we have successfully fabricated last month only. And this is to show you the, oh, sorry. I don't know how to play this. Can I play this? There's a video. This is just to show you, we have captured the room temperature images with our MWIR camera, and we can show these are only the raw images. And once you do the image processing on this, the images will become very, very clear. I don't know how to play this anyway. Okay, it is okay. Then we are into LWIR also. With LWIR, I agree we are struggling, but I think by the next 2 months we are going to come out with it. We have made the LWIR, we have made the camera, but only thing is the packaging is causing a problem, and we are working on this issue. Our major aim is that we will combine LWIR, SWIR, and MWIR in the same camera with the AI fusion data. Then coming over to RF sensor, this is something with which I have been associated, I have grown up with as scientist B. I don't know how many people know that in 3.5 technologies, DRDO thought somewhere in 1994 that we should be self-sufficient in this technology. So we developed our own technology, and the technology has been implemented at GATEC Hyderabad, and there is no space mission which has gone without using MMICs from this technology. Later on, when Rafale was coming in, at that time GAN technology was denied to us. Right now, standing in front of you, I can very proudly say, now we have this technology developed indigenously. We have not only developed the technology, we have implemented it for limited production at GATEC Hyderabad. I'll showcase you some of the products which we have made with this. GAN technology, as we all know, it is the heart of next generation radars and next generation EW systems. So it is required for all kinds of application, and the advantage is that you can have a very small. I've just shown a comparison. If this is the size of the TR module, you can reduce it to your finger size. It is some scientist's finger on which the complete TR module is sitting. So when I say this, that we have done the technology, many people ask me, you compare your technology vis-a-vis the technologies which are available outside. So here I've just shown the parameters. I'll not go through the parameters, but I've just shown you can compare that we are almost there. With whatever is available globally, commercially, we have done this ourselves. Then we have definitely patented many of the things, and this is just to show you what all we have done. This is the indigenous MMICs which we have made. We have created many IPs with this technology. We have C-band 40 watt, we have X-band 30 watt, we have S-band 130 watt. We have now recently we have come out with S-band 170 watt also, and we are capable of doing up to 220 watt. Then when we did all this, we thought that we should go for, if you want a KU band seeker, or if you want a next generation EW system, and you want a very small system, what you require is a small kind of, you want something which is small and energy efficient. So we have come out with 5 to 18 gigahertz system on chip. I will show you, this is system on chip. It is 5 to 18 gigahertz delivering power of 5 watt. This is KU band chip, KU band complete TR chip in the size of 3.5 by 4.5 by 3.5 mm, delivering power up to 5 watt. So these are the kind of things which we have carried out, and we have also done, when you have the front end module to make out, to completely form an ISA, what you require is, you require a beam forming network also. Normally when you make a beam forming network, you need at least 9 to 10 MMICs. What we have done is, we have put all the functionalities of 9 to 10 MMICs in a single MMIC with a size of 6.8 by 3.8 mm, and we have tested these MMICs, and this is just to show you, this is how it looks like, and what it ends up is, it ends up in a very lightweight ESM. Now how we can use this is, if you have a very lightweight, you have a very lightweight jammer, you can put it on a drone, and that drone can then jam the whole swarms whatever are available, because you have got the beam forming network also, you have got the power also, and it is very lightweight, it can fly. So these are the kind of solutions which we have come out with. Then for future we are working on, we have worked out Ka band. In Ka band, it is 35 to 37 gigahertz MMIC, which has power amplifier, LNA switch, everything in a single IC, and it can be used for Ka band seeker. These are some of the other things. Means because we are going for a very wideband EW system, so that is why we have worked out solutions for 18 to 40 gigahertz also. We are in addition to this, we also have impact diodes which are required for speakers, and we have done up to 25 watt impact diodes available with us. In future, what we are all doing is we are into quantum technologies, we are into terahertz. We have made terahertz devices ourselves with 60 microwatt of power with the bandwidth of 4 terahertz. They are available with us. And we have also developed, I have not written here, but we have developed zinc telluride material using which it can be used as a terahertz source as well as terahertz detector. We have done EOI for that. We want some partners to come out so that they can take technology from us. We have germanium blank technology, which is required for IR images. Till now, people were getting from China, so they were not bothering. But now they are asking for this technology, and they can take it from us. So coming over to quantum technology, in quantum technology, we are into quantum sensors and quantum communications. And in quantum sensors, we are into ultra small atomic clock, and we are into miniaturized atomic magnetometer. But this time, as has been said, this time it was decided that we will take the problem in two ways. We will take costs and make the systems, but at the same time, we will start developing the devices which are required for making those systems. So we are making those devices. We are developing microfabricated alkali vapor cell. We are developing VIC cell. We are developing DFB. We are making single photon source. We are making single photon detector. So all these things we are doing so that we can come out with a complete solution. I will just skip this. We are making our own physics package for ultra small atomic clock. You may ask why it is required. Because in future, in the GPS denied environment, what you require is such kind of solutions. Only I just skip this because I don't have time. Okay, so we are, as I said, we are developing VCSELs, we are developing DFB, we are developing our own quantum dot photon, single photon detectors, single photon source. And with all this, I'm very sure, as Pathakji said, we can and we will, and definitely we will. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. You talked from concept to the realization. I just want to acknowledge what Mr. Rajesh Kumar Pathak said, that how the government is looking and what kind of decisions are being taken. Madam talked about IR sensor. I was giving a presentation that there are 5 types of IR sensors are required to track missile from space. They are MWIR, LWIR, SWIR, VNIR, and neuromorphic sensors. And the question was put, okay, MWIR sensor, why we are importing? I said the cost of the sensor is 35 lakh, and if you have to put in the space, it is 5 crore. They said, why can't we fabricate it outside? The fabrication cost is 100 crore rupees for one sensor, which you can buy in 35 lakh. The question which was put reversed by the government to me was, why can't we do it in India? I said, we require a fab. What is the cost of the fab? 2,000 crore, approval given. Next day, the secretary talked to one of the chief minister. He gave the allocation of the land, and then we are going to have indigenous IR sensor being developed in India, because that is what the government thinks, that a scientist projects a problem, how fast decisions are taken. I have not seen such decision making in my life. So through you, I want to thank the government, the policy. Now coming back to what madam has talked, in fact, very few scientists, as men, they take such type of decision. You see, the sensor failure will lead to the failure of the system. So I go back when we were developing the first ELINT payload, space base. There are a lot of scientists, and I want to tell you that out of 10 scientists, 6 were women and 4 were men. All men left me because saying that it is going to fail, we cannot work with you. Only 6 women were there who were behind the success of the ELINT-based payload, which is working last 6 years. I must acknowledge as a woman scientist, her effort, her challenges from RF to quantum, big jump, and she has taken a big role and she's doing very reasonably well, and government is acknowledging and supporting her lab. I wish her all the best. Summarizing her, the topic, which is my role, is that advanced material sciences is a force multiplier enabling breakthroughs in survivability, stealth, and energy efficiency. As nanotechnology and smart material mature, they will define military superiority, making invisible clocks, self-repairing vehicles, and AI-integrated armor as battlefield reality. Thank you very much for all the 3 speakers. And now we go for the question and answer session, open to everyone. So any question is there? You kindly put a question to the speakers.
Good morning, Doctor. If I may request the chair, I'm General Sudhakar. I'm a veteran from Jaipur. And compliments, it's very, very impressive. One feels very confident that scientists and the soldiers of India actually are working hand in hand, and we are taking giant leaps in the direction which is highly desirable. Having said that, Dr. Anupam must compliment the presentation which you gave. Just back from a couple of countries in the world, where I learned that NATO forces have gone in for weaponization of neurosciences 2040, and trying to go deeper into the slides, the text of your slide. At one place I found neural something written. My question is India thinking in terms of similar kind of paradigm, wherein neural science of a soldier is vulnerable to be hacked, wherein he will start disobeying the orders given by his superiors, and what's to that effect? Far as I
Just I'll answer to the questions first. Before happens, we have to go to the digitization. Thinking has started. In fact, I used to tell something, part of the services, most of the time, though I'm a civilian, I was working with the services. First is the digitization of a human being, very important. You know, we talked about digitization of radio, TV and all. So I used to tell Chairman DRDO that when a scientist retires, on the retirement day, he has to give CD to his boss. Sir, tomorrow I am not going to come. So if you have got any question, please ask the CD. Though many scientists were unhappy that you want us to sit somewhere else, I used to tell, I started my career as a software engineer. Today I talk about the space science. So as you rightly brought out, the thinking has a start that controlling a machine with the thought process of a human being. We are talking about 6th generation fighters controlling drones, arms and all. So when we talk about next generation combat systems, but as you rightly brought out, whenever something happens, there's a countermeasure also. In fact, when you talk about the genes, depending on the quality of a person in future, next generation, that some viruses or that some thing can be introduced where a person may not die, but he may misbehave in a different way. It's a big science and thought process has started. I will take it forward. So far, not much development has taken place. My idea of giving presentation to all of you, it was really shivering for me when I started going through, and 1 week my team was making this comprehensive presentation. that being aware that what is going to be the threat perceptive is the first steps towards taking the decisions. This is what I want to tell you. Thank you very much. Yes. This is for the speakers also.
Hello. This question is to the August panel. Sir, we have seen during Operation Sindoor and various other projects, we have been blackmailed by the OEMs or the original manufacturers like Rafael. And if you go through what we are manufacturing Tejas, the engine, aero engine is being provided by US General Electric 404 and 414. And I'm being from our MBT project Arjun. Also got a engine from West Germany, that is MTU. And whenever we require it, our squadron as on strength combat squadron should be 45. And presently we have only 30 combat squadrons. We are lacking. Although aircraft have been manufactured, now they have put another line also in Nasik, as well as it has been manufactured in Bangalore. The aircrafts are ready, frames are ready, but engines are not being supplied. And why it is not being supplied? Because they are blackmailing us. Whenever we require it, our MBT project is falling behind because of the MTU engines. Our aero engines are not there for Tejas. So why, the question is to the DRDO. I served in DRDO for 3 years. I served in an armored regiment for about 15 years. Why we cannot, we got Tatas here, we got Kirloskars, we got giants like Leyland, and so many private giants are there. Why can't you manufacture an aero engine in India? Why can't you manufacture a tank engine in India and produce it? And why we have to always depend on countries like all those European or manufacturers? If and Kaveri engine project, everyone knows it is being delayed so much. So we should have some collaboration or something and produce our own aero engines, own MBT engines, and be self-sufficient totally. Because saying we are self-sufficient, manufacturing Tejas, manufacturing MBT, it is not correct. So when the power talk is not there, we are not self-sufficient. This is the reason. Please.
Okay, can I answer you? See, when you were there in DRDO, can you just tell me how many years back? Okay, now today I am talking about a different generation of DRDO. Let me just tell you, the way we are planning is top-down approach and a bottom-up approach. I just highlighted few things like triple junction solar cell, and it is, I'm just motivated by one journal, CDS, when he visited us, and I told, sir, I cannot spend time with you, half an hour in your office, can you come and meet us in my lab for half day? He came and we had a discussion. The only thing which emerged was, which you rightly brought out, I said, sir, if tomorrow there is a war, what is our preparedness? He said, what is to be done? I said, top-down approach, your requirements to be met, bottom-up approach, where everything which you see is a, if it is imported, including the material, we should have a roadmap to indigenize it. Now, I just want to tell you a very simple thing. Today, DRDO, the new DRDO talks about collaboration. And I just want to give one example to you. Do you know how many nations have large space-based telescope? I'll tell you. First was US, second was China, third was UK failed. Now, one startup came to me 2 years back. He said, sir, can we do it? No, it's a very risky game. We sat down together and he became part of our team. And I want to tell you, on 15th of January, a space-based telescope was launched and it is working. India has become third country in the world having a space-based telescope. What is going to give? It is going to give you the situation awareness of the space where you are dependent on Russia, US, and the other countries to tell you the location of your satellite. I want to tell you, this is the model which presently Secretary DRDO is following. If tomorrow is a war, how we are going to act? So you are right when you say our heart should pain if anything is imported. And as I brought out just now, the example of the government, that IR sensor, if you fabricate it outside 100 crore, so 2000 rupee, the crore rupees government is spending for the fab itself. And I am telling you that when there is a war, as we brought out, the President Generals, they say, it is not going to be the services who are going to fight, who are the uniform. It is starting from a startup, MSME, industry, DRDO, they are going to play. So I think we are talking about a different generation of the scientist, the way he spoke, I think he was talking like a soldier. So you will find a lot of changes which are coming, and thanks to the government is also wholeheartedly supporting, things will change. Thank you.
May I add, Dr. Sharma? I am really delighted that you have asked this question. Okay. Precisely for this reason, government has come out with 1 lakh crore rupees corpus to support private sector. Because all these technologies where need lots of fund for initial research, maybe and long duration, you need the patient capital, and industry is not willing to put the patient capital. Today, all these things developed in US and other parts of the world, it was supported by government, maybe DARPA in US, and you go other countries as well. The similar thing is now India is trying to do it. We are ready to fund at the cost of failure to the private sector for all these kind of niche technology. For example, we were talking about that jet engine. Why can't we make our own jet engine? If somebody is ready to work on that, and this 1 lakh crore corpus is not for routine R&D, this is all for cutting edge and these kind of technology. If someone is willing to take risk, government is willing to pay them the initial support, initial funding. So probably the game will change in near future. This is just I want to add what Dr. Sharma says.
And just to add,
And TASL, I
just
am
to
really
add,
delighted to have you.
L&T and Kalyani Group and TASL, I mean, they have already approached that Kaveri engine and next generation engines we can do ourselves. If we can do for GE, I mean, GE parts are done in our factory. Why can't we do for that? I mean, we are ready to do that, and we have already approached for that.
One thing I would like to add from conductor side, it now trust is develop the technology that nobody can deny us. Have developed technologies. Now government has opened up and we are doing EOIs. We are asking people to come out so that they can scale up those technologies that they can be used for defense as well as for civilian, means dual purpose. So such kind of changes have happened in past 10 years. It has really helped us to grow.
There is something more I want to add what you said. See, so far the research which was going in the country was that you give a problem to a professor, he gives a report. We have changed. I told I don't want report, I want a prototype product. And the DRDO has brought a policy that whatever money is given to the university, 40% can be paid to a startup. So a research starts along with the development of the prototype, and a parallelly industry gets the know-how from it. In fact, Spartak, I just want to tell you, I presented 6 models of the startups where they can be engaged with the services. In some of the country where a missile is developed and they wanted to further enhance its capability, they called a startup. They said that, please see, I want to further enhance the capability, this much capability. He studied the design and he came out. Do we have a model like this? I presented to the government. I think it should come out. I want to tell you, startups हमारे बच्चे हैं, and whenever I meet a startup, I always tell, करो कुछ ऐसा कि दुनिया करना चाहे आपके जैसा. And that is the thing which we are following, that wherever knowledge, wherever effort is available, the startup works 24/7. If you and me, we don't take 5 hours of sleep, will be just we cannot do, but that is the strength of the startup. We are motivating a startup, the MSMEs, and they are going to be the supporting roles as a soldier. Thank you.
Jaipur only. With the proliferation of drones, as like Dr. Shivram has brought out, size of a drone of 0.6 centimeter weighing 3 grams. Now it can be used for war, but India is facing a lot of threat of internal threat also. If this proliferation goes into wrong hand, next to our airport, where a vital installation, is there any means to check this? Because I have seen on the video yesterday also, the smallest size of drone and how it killed the enemy. It can damage our flying machine also. Are we having some protection against them? Because this is now going to be very soon, proliferation going into the wrong hand also. Thank you.
See, when we talk about drone, two type of protections are being talked. One is the laser, another is the RF. Both sides, the technologies are being developed. But what I want to tell you, this is the first time attending a seminar which doesn't talk about future, which talks about next generation, which talks about next generation. The outcome of such type of seminars has to be taken and it has to be documented and it should come in a actionable form. Unless it comes in a actionable form, we are going to miss the bus. I think every speaker or anybody who has a presenter has put in at least 10 to 12 hours for making the presentation. So what is required is that I always believe that if we want to work as a soldier, there should be a compendium which should come out, which should talk what are the services requirement. Of course, they can be kept in a separate, how these requirements are addressed, and industry should be told well in advance, this is what is going to come. I'm very happy today industries are involved, so they come to know what is going to be the future and they can start innovating the projects. So yes, whenever you see frequency hopping radio set came, that time it was told to me, EW, that you cannot monitor. Today it is possible because somebody has taken the problem. Encryption has come. They gave quantum computer can break it. Today we are talking about a technology where even quantum computer should not be able to track. So we have to continuously work. Being aware, as you rightly brought out, is the first step towards the solution. It is possible to achieve with the collaborative effort of services, DRDO, industry, startups, and MSMEs.
Thank you, sir, ma'am, for this robust discussion that truly captures the spirit of this session. We'll now be taking a short tea break followed by a group photograph for nominated speakers at the front lawn. You all are requested to assemble back at the auditorium for the session 5 at 11:20 hours. An important announcement for the MTech officers from all arms and services. You all are requested to interact with the industry representatives at the tech exhibition. Thank you. And a big round of applause for the session, please.